Who it is? Maybe I should know. Oh, actually, I do know who it is. I'm sorry. I do know who's calling in, but we lost him, and I thought it was somebody else. But we do have right here is a mayor, former mayor, of course, and hotline host that everyone's been asking about. Ladies and gentlemen, you know him and love him, Jeff Graham. How you doing, Jeff?
Good, Glenn. How are you?
Good. So I'm just going to give you the platform, and because people are obviously concerned, and what's going on in your life?
Well, I guess I was a little worn down by winter and everything, and needed some time off, and so we took some time off, and I'll be back next Monday.
That's awesome. You sound good.
Oh, yeah, I feel good, and, we're not spring chickens anymore, Glenn. We can't just...
Right. I love how he does that. Well, let me ask you, I mean, over the weekend you felt ill, and it's you, for one, rarely miss over the years. And Jeff, how long you've been doing the show for the Hotline show for what, 33 years or something?
30, 31, somewhere in there, yeah.
Yeah, and you rarely missed any time at all, particularly during COVID. And of course, at the time, as you know, as everyone knows, you did both shows, the noon and 5 o'clock. So when you're missing, you create a big hole in the North Country radio world.
Well, it's a gaping hole, yes. But,
right.
I'm sure people can get over it and take a break from it and all that. Things going on, I don't know. I took a step back from one thing. I told the mayor that, I got too many things going on right now, and I can't really participate in that zoo committee.
Oh.
So I'm going to step off of that.
Okay.
And, it's just, I don't know what they're going to do anyway, but...
Right.
I don't want to. Might be too stressful for me. So there's that. And hey, did you read in I read in the Guardian today where Liz Cheney called Elise Stefanik a crackpot?
Oh, wow! I didn't see that. What was her reasoning for that?
Well, I guess everything. It's going to be a nasty year.
It already is. I mean, what were your thoughts last night? Trump won by 11 points, but 30% of those who voted were Democrats, and yet he still won by a large margin. What does that tell you?
Well, I know all the media, especially Fox, were cheering, saying she should get out. Well, those are the rules of that state's primary. So if she wants, only 2.5% of the delegates have been chosen.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, do we really want to shut it down? What kind of democracy is that? In the Democratic Party, they really shut it down.
Right.
The delegates were from New Hampshire were already awarded to Biden before the primary.
I believe the same for Florida on the Democratic side, yeah.
So,
that's months from now.
Is that democracy that they talk about? No, I'd rather, and the funny thing is when you watch these political reporters say, oh, it's time for her to get out, we want to, close ranks. And why? I'd want this stuff to go on forever.
Well, I think Fox is saying it, and I kind of agree that, she's just a Chris Christie with breasts. She's just going to spread a lot of hatred towards Trump, and that, that rhetoric just doesn't help Trump.
But I don't like that characterization, and I really didn't like Trump's victory speech. I thought it was petulant and petty.
Mm-hmm.
The way he went after her. He didn't have to.
No, he never has to. He makes mistakes like that all the time.
But he always does that,
mm-hmm.
And I don't think he's any slam dunk. He's competitive because the guy he's running against is an idiot.
Right. But that idiot beat him 3 years ago.
Exactly.
Right.
Although Trump doesn't think so.
No, a lot of people don't think so. A lot of people are in jail for that same reason. But neither here nor there.
Yeah.
All right, so 11 points last night. She next month, the next one is in South Carolina. She obviously has to stick around for that because that's like celebrating your birthday party right in your own house. So what say you if she loses that by the same margin, if not worse? Where does she go after South Carolina?
Wherever she wants. I would say that, if you look in previous years, we didn't have it down to 2 candidates by the second week of January.
No.
I mean, when Trump first ran, Kasich and
right,
Lyon Ted and
mm-hmm.
all the rest of them, they hung in for quite a while.
The dynamics were different, though, because we have an incumbent, not an incumbent, but a former president running. Back in 2016, it was all or nothing.
But I get it. And if you want it over with right now, and then they can just have a trench warfare for 9-10 months, we won't even need debates because we know both the candidates so well. And I really think the media is predisposed against third-party candidates. I mean, they can't win. They're spoilers. They're this. They're that. 70% of Americans tell pollsters they don't like a Biden-Trump race. So is that the best they can? Can't they have something else? I'd like to see something, and I don't mean Joe Manchin either. That's a
No, yeah, and they won't allow it. I mean, we're not going to have an independent. We would have one by now. I don't remember when Ross Perot threw his name in the ring. I know he was vying for the Republican.
You got RFK Jr. You've got Jill Stein is running as the Green. You've got
the other guy. I forget his name.
Yeah,
Griffin or whatever. Doesn't matter. But the Democrats are in control, Jeff. You know that. That's why they wanted to bypass New Hampshire to begin with. And ultimately, I don't know what's going to happen at the end of this year. Some talk about Gavin Newsom, perhaps Michelle Obama. But at the end of the day, the Democrats are going to put in, a puppet president or a candidate so that they can continue running the country from, I guess you could say, the West Wing or whatever, somewhere in the Beltway, and continue this. I don't know. I was listening to a competing radio station earlier on the crazy guy with the raspy voice, and they're bringing up some stuff about Canada that makes my head spin up there. Remember, Trudeau runs again next year. They have a different set of rules as far as their elections are concerned, as you know, Jeff. But again, I just don't see good things happening, not just for Canada, but I see, bad things happening. Like you just said, it's going to get nasty. I don't know how they're going to pull this off. And I know a lot of people don't like this when I say this. I'm just intrigued to see how they pull this off and either keep Biden in there or someone with a big letter D in front of their name. What say you about that?
Well, it won't be hard because, Trump will keep up, being Trump. It's such an edgy thing. In theory, he could win. But their argument on the economy is, weakened a little bit because things have stabilized at least.
Yeah, well, it always does in election year. Always does. That's.
Although I have to tell you, today at Grand Union, a bag of Ruffles potato chips is $7, and a 6-pack of 6-ounce Ocean Spray cranberry juices is $6.99. So it's not cheap.
No, nothing's cheap. Nothing's cheap. Although gas is hovering around what, $3? I don't even know what it's at.
Yeah, gas prices have come down, and that's and Trump just says things like.
Well, what Trump said last night was really stupid when he said, Senator Scott, you must really hate her. And then, of course, he had to get up to the podium and make clear that he does not hate Nikki Haley. But that was another Trump moment that we could have done without. I agree with you, Jeff.
Yeah, exactly. And, they're starting to get on him about verbal slips.
Right.
He said that
Nikki Haley, he got mixed up with Pelosi. But again, we know who. Should we worry about the same entities that are obviously going to pick up on gaffes like that more so than the multitude of gaffes that Joe Biden has exhibited in the last 3+ years?
Well, I watched a bit of Morning Joe this morning, then turned over to Fox. You're in alternate universes there. I mean, it's different take on everything. Look at this Fannie, what's her name, down in Atlanta.
Right. Yeah, the
what
AG.
an embarrassment.
Right.
But she doesn't exist on MSNBC.
No. And what about the Senator Menendez? I think his name is from Jersey. We hardly hear that story in mainstream media. And he was caught with his pants down with bricks of gold in his closet. And now he wants the gold back, and he says it was an unconstitutional search or whatever. He's going to get off, and he has the option to get rid of the judge because he doesn't like who's presiding over his case. Unfortunately, Jeff, they're in control. That's all I can say.
What's going on at the station?
Well, right now, outside, it's the snow that we've got is melting, and that sucks because when it freezes up again, then it's like walking across the surface of the moon. It gets all crusty. But
it looks like it's going to be a little bit of thaw coming up, and
Right.
people should be very careful with those high roofs that ice scuff falling down.
I agree.
So it can be very dangerous too.
Very dangerous. Yeah, this it doesn't end for us up here as far as winter is concerned, with or without snow. We got a lot of snow still on the ground. And, yeah, that's when things get... the snow looks ugly right now. It's not that December, early January snow anymore. Now it looks like March, April. It's all dirty.
It's dirty, man. It's dirty.
Yeah,
well, what are you going to do?
But anyway, Jeff, I just want to tell you, before I forget, and I don't want to, there's an outpouring of concern, and a lot of people reached out to the station and me and others, and they all want to know what's going on with Jeff Graham. And I think it's important to note, and I said earlier, you created a big hole at the noon hour, but on a personal level, people really do care about you, Jeff.
Well, I appreciate that, and, doing fine, just, getting rested up and all of that stuff. We'll be ready for next week.
I know you will. You're the comeback kid, and this is just a little bump in the road.
Exactly.
Well, awesome.
All right. Well, I'll let you get back to your other callers, and I know Joe Stanley's calling.
Yeah, and feel free to call in the next couple of days if you want to, Jeff.
Okay, I need therapy, yeah.
Great, thanks, man.
Thanks, bye.
That's I was going to say that's attorney Jeff Graham. No, that's hotline host and 5-time mayor of Watertown, Jeffrey E. Graham.